The Julius Abure-led Labour Party has blamed the party's candidates in the just concluded governorship election in Edo State, Olumide Akpata and Peter Obi, for the party's abysmal performance. The party also congratulated the Edo State Governor-elect, Senator Monday Okpebholo, and the All Progressives Congress for the victory, saying that the victory was a well-deserved one. The party also congratulated the Edo State Governor-elect, Senator Monday Okpebholo, and the APC for the victory, saying that it was a well-deserved one. The party, while congratulating the Independent National Electoral Commission for a job well done, described the election as one of the fairest, freest, and most peaceful elections in the country. Tonight, we dissect INEC'S overall performance in that election with Awam Musa Rafsanjani, is Executive Director, Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center. Comrade, good evening to you. Comrade, good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Welcome to Politics Tonight.
Thank you very much. Good evening, and good evening, viewers.
Right. So this the highly anticipated governorship election in Edo State has come and gone. First, what's your impression about the conduct and the outcome of that election?
Thank you very much. So, as an organization that we observe election in Nigeria, and of course, this one that took place in Edo State, we have also noted some fundamental issues that characterize the election. First, before the election, Transition Monitoring Group, raised some concern about the conduct of the political parties and politicians, that immediately to the party primaries, and after the party primaries, the campaign that was also characterized not on really issue-based, but more of like, as usual, the Nigerian politician promises and sometimes, attack on one another. So during the election, we noted that the election was very peaceful, and this is simply because there was heavy presence of the security agents that have helped, to ensure that voters were able to vote without much intimidation and harassment. Of course, the usual nature of Nigerian politicians, they will want to take, advantage and do whatever they can do to get support legitimately or illegitimately. So, of course, the Edo election was not spared from that. We have seen how some people claiming, to be INEC official, they came, in two helix in one of the wards that we actually observed, particularly Obia Northeast local government, where they came with two hillocks, claiming to be INEC official. Of course, they were detected and, they were being able to disperse. Secondly, we have also seen the vote buying, which is the usual Nigerian politician way of getting themselves in, taking advantage of the miserable poor living condition of the voters. Of course, they engage in that. They have not stopped doing that. We have also seen, because of the earlier concern and worry that many voters were having, there was a kind of low turnout of the voters in this election. This is because of the previous, attack on campaigns, during the campaigns, and the way some politicians were, harassing and attacking each other. So many voters actually stay away from participating. We have also seen in this election, we have also seen the later arrival, because of the heavy rainfall of the INEC, materials. We have also seen some improvement in terms of the weavers, because I think overall the weavers have also worked. One thing that we note is that if the political will is there to conduct free, fair, and credible, as well as smooth election, it is possible to do that. And I think this is why civil society organizations, especially organizations that are working on electoral transparency, have continued to push for more transparent, electoral process and the election. Because without having a transparent, process, it will be difficult to have any better election in this country. The election is not just about the day of the election. It is a process leading to the party primaries, and if the party primary is manipulated and is controlled and use of dirty money, applied, then definitely you would have compromised the very important process. So the secondary election, which is the day of the election, is not that the most important. I think the most important, election that many Nigerians are not paying attention and leaving political parties to do whatever they like is the party primaries, which is now being manipulated and controlled by some few political leaders of the political party. So the voters, or rather the members of the political parties, are in many instances not able to play any role to ensure that they choose somebody that they believe, has the capacity, has the integrity, has the interest, and has the public support. So when we don't pay attention to what is going on at the political party level, and we focus only on the election day, so if party A and party B and party 2 and 3, all of them, they bring a compromise process, then the voters, they have no option then to choose from the compromise candidates that have been presented to them. So that is why we in Transition Monitoring Group and many other civil society organizations, CISLAC, CDD, and quite a number of the organizations, including even IEGA, they are interested in ensuring that the process is also free, fair, and credible, so that we will not just come and be observing election on the day of election that has already been compromised. So, but I think, we need to take advantage of the effort that INEC has made to at least showcase a determination to ensure that they will want to do things that is good and restore the confidence on, of itself by the Nigerian,
All right, comrade.
People.
All right. So before we talk about the issues one after another, INEC promised to upload results of the elections on IREF, which the commission fulfilled. If I remember very well, as at 9 p.m., the report from the portal indicated that 4,259 results out of about 4,500 have been uploaded on IREF. To summate, that's about 95%. So how long can this go in rebuilding confidence in the electoral body?
So this is a huge burden, of confidence and trust by the electoral body, because many Nigerians they actually lost hope and confidence that they were going to have free, fair, and credible election in Edo. Civil society stepped in to convince voters in the first place to even agree to come out, because after the 2023 election, many people, they felt that they were not going to really participate because they believe in their own, judgment that something went wrong and that, whatever election they are going to participate is going to replicate the same thing. But I think civil society, reminded them that if they don't participate in choosing who should govern them, then at the end of the day, they will end up, complaining. So it is better you get involved and you play your own part and continue to demand for accountability whenever the person wins, then to stay away. Staying away, I think it has a way of allowing people to do whatever they like. But if you, participate and continue to demand for accountability, because as far as we are concerned, election, results is not the only thing that people should be concerned. We should be concerned about how you govern us. You should be concerned about how this election delivers good governance. We cannot be conducting election with a huge amount of money, taking taxpayers' money, and then at the end of the day, we did not really have value for money. I think that is why civil society continue to emphasize, first, we need to have better voter education for voters, because even in this election we observe that many of the voters, they do not actually have sufficient knowledge and education on voting. And this is because political parties have abandoned their responsibilities. They are not doing voter education. They left it to only civil society, and civil society with its limited capacity and resources cannot do everything. So I think there's a serious negligence from the political parties to engage their members, educate them properly so that they don't even make mistakes in interpreting and also following the rules and regulations set aside by INEC. I think, it's very clear that civic education must continue to happen. Again, with regard to INEC has, they know that very well that Nigerians have an issue with them, and they are doing everything possible according to them to continue to maintain and restore that, confidence on Nigerians. But of course, when there are issues like this continue to happen, it means that INEC must double its effort to ensure that they do not give the Nigerians impression that they are not really ready to address those gaps that continue to manifest. But we also believe that we need to continue to engage INEC. We need to support them where we believe that we can be able to support them to deliver better electoral, election and the process that will lead to, the conduct of election itself. I think, we believe that engaging INEC positively will lead to improved election. And we have seen over the years from 1999 to date, we have seen how we have made some kind of remarkable progress with regard to conducting election in this country. I think people are running out of patience and they are legitimate to, they are legitimately concerned.
So overall, would you give INEC a pass mark?
Well, I would say that despite the challenges, because you will need to understand that INEC itself is facing serious political manipulation and control and dictate and harassment by politicians. And for INEC to do what that is required to do, they need the support of the public. They need the support of civil society and the media and all other Nigerians, so that they will not also deviate and fall under the pressure of these, politicians that are never interested in allowing free, fair, credible election to happen in Nigeria. So we need to give them the necessary support. And where they did wrong, we will point it out to them and recommend measures for them to address. And where we see that they have done well, we will encourage them to do more. I think that is the position that we in civil society we are having. It's not an antagonistic position. It is a position that we want our country to work. We want a situation whereby people can actually go and vote, just like the way you can go to your bank to transfer money or to do a transaction peacefully. You should be able to go and vote in an election without you being afraid of being attacked or harassed by anybody. I mean, if we are doing election in this country, it's as if we are going to a war. That's not what happens in other countries. We've been going to other countries to observe election. That is not what we see. In Nigeria, it's like when you are doing election, it's like you go to war. Secondly, the kind of amount you spend conducting the election under this miserable living condition of Nigerians, under the economic that is very poor, it's not justifiable to end up having an election that is not satisfactory to the generality of Nigerians. So we need to see how we can do everything possible, even from the legal framework of the electoral process itself. Because when there is manipulation and control from that process, you have already compromised the process. Secondly, when the political parties do whatever they like without check, without following the due process, it is also another mess up and compromise. And then, of course, on the day of election, or even during the campaign, you harass people, you intimidate people. In fact, in some cases, you even killed some people from one party to another.
Comrade, you just talked about money politics. How did we get here? What do you think is responsible for this trend?
So the reason for money politics in Nigeria is because politicians have realized that what they are doing is not about service. It is about investment. It's about bringing dirty money to capture political power so that they can control the contract, they can control appointment, and they can be selling this appointment and contract and be making money while Nigerians are languishing in absolute poverty. So the use of dirty money, to capture power, it is simply a personal interest, not a public interest. And it is because democracy has been totally misunderstood in Nigeria by many politicians who they believe that the only way they can get money, quick money, without being productive is to enter politics and use that space to capture or to accumulate wealth that they don't even need. Even their grandchildren, they don't need that money because it is a crazy money that is like a disease, because you have deprived people from development, from water, education, healthcare system, and infrastructure, and you fuck all this money, you take it abroad where you don't even have access to this money.
So, comrade, how do we check this?
So there are a number of ways that we can actually checkmate this. First, Nigerians must resolve to participate fully in the democratic process. They must be involved. If you don't involve and you don't voice out your own, right and concern at the party level, then you will not be able to change anything. Secondly, we must make sure that people who are drafting or who are making the law, they did not also corrupt the electoral process to favor themselves. Again, we need to also insist that the election, even the commissioners of INEC are people that the Constitution agrees that we should actually have, not people with the card-carrying member, or as a card-carrying members, you appoint them as commissioners. You have already compromised that confidence, in the electoral process if you continue with that. Again, you need to also ensure that the public finance or financing for political parties and policies in Nigeria are properly regulated and checkmated, despite the fact that we have laws. These laws are not being obeyed because when people are in power, they don't respect the law. So impunity needs to be checked. And we need to make sure that our law works. And irrespective of whether you are in power or outside power, you must comply by rules and regulation. Without following rules and regulation, you will continue to have this kind of situation whereby people will come with dirty money, capture the space. Again, one thing that we must also do is to deepen political education for the Nigerian people to understand that collecting 2,000 naira, 1,000 naira will not end their poverty, and they have sold their integrity and their dignity. And therefore, the person that gave them that 1,000, 2,000, in fact, in some places, is even 500 naira, will not be able to do anything for you because, as far as they are concerned, they have paid you. So we need to continue to educate, mobilize Nigerians to understand the integrity and the ability for them to resist that temptation. We know poverty is there, but there are some countries with the poorer condition than Nigeria, but their citizens, they are determined to make sure that they did not sell their conscience, they did not sell their right, they did not sell their integrity. So in Nigeria too, we can actually mobilize Nigerians to understand that there's a dignity in you of holding your honor by not selling your vote to 500, 2,000, whatever amount.
So before I let you go tonight, how will you raise provision for people living with disabilities by INEC during that poll?
So like I mentioned, INEC has to do a lot, and they must demonstrate it, to prove to Nigerians that, they are doing, or they are ready to correct so many, anomalies and so many shortcomings that have been, observed by different observers, organizations, including, civil society organizations, so that they can improve on the future election in this country. We know that when you look at the election that the state is conducting for the local government, that one is a scam. So compared to what even INEC is doing, you can even salute INEC, because the election that state bodies are organizing, you can see that there's no iota of transparency in it. It is whichever ruling party in that state is going to get 100%. The process of nomination is a scam. So I think we need to encourage INEC to be more forthcoming. We need to encourage INEC to take the right best examples across even the world to be able to conduct and manage election. And we must ensure that we have electoral offender commission in this country, because If you continue to allow people to break the electoral law, use money, use violence, then they get away with it, I'm telling you, nothing is going to change. So we need to punish people. You need to have law that can work on everybody, irrespective of whether you are in the ruling party or you are in the opposition party. If you do not have those laws applied to everyone, then we will continue to dream. We will continue to be in illusion to have any free, fair, or credible election in Nigeria. So I want to believe that we must continue to work closely with INEC to support them and point out, errors, point out areas where they need to improve so that we can have a better electoral process in this country.
All right, comrade, thank you so much for joining us this evening. I've been speaking with Awam Musa Rafsanjani, is Executive Director, Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center. Thanks a lot for joining us this evening. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much.